kind is to be humane, right? And it's kind of tough to be humane sometimes in this crazy world. And sometimes my buddy Ricky, who wanted me to talk about this today, who's sitting right out here, says, people can mistake being kind for weakness. And I think he's right. I think people can and do often do that. And because we've experienced that a lot. But you know what? Sometimes those real nice people can kick your butt. Like that little girl, she can put her foot right in your face before you can blink an eye. So you might want to be rude to her, and all of a sudden you find yourself with a heel upside your face. It's probably not a good idea. Or that old man. Old man accidentally bumps you in a grocery store and you want to turn around. Don't bump me, old man. There are people that act that way. And all of a sudden that old man's a professional MMA fighter, and he turns around and beats the shit out of you. I mean, it's not a good idea, right? That's me with my master, who I tried to find a better picture, but I couldn't. But he's about yay tall. He has a nice little belly on him. He looks like a jolly old, super nice guy, because he is. But he has multiple black belts. He's crazy talented at whooping your butt. Like, he's really good at it. So there's so many people that you just would think on a physical level, why would I want to mess with them? Like, why? First of all, it's rude, it's stupid, but people do. But you got to be really careful if you're one of those little thugs out there. What's that game where they walk around, the knockout game? You got to be real careful who you think you want to go knock out. It's kind of a dumb idea. Like, you don't want to go up against Ricky. Ricky's a professional wrestler. Ricky will slam you down and throw you up against the ropes and bash you a little bit. And you don't want to do that. There have been a couple of times in my life where I've helped an old woman or somebody struggling with some groceries. Like, I'm walking past with my stuff and you help them out. I'm sure that's happened to several of y'all here. But just think about the times where you help somebody, and then immediately after you help them, they had the gall to ask you for additional stuff and you don't know them. Like right out of the gate, you help them, and then all of a sudden, the same old sweet old lady you think you're helping, putting stuff in the bag. Oh, can you give me gas money to go home? It's happened to everybody, I think, that has tried to be nice to people. And it kind of tests your inner strength, like, man, I don't know about you. I don't know. Now, this has personally happened to me. I've had a buddy of mine call me from jail, and he says, hey, can you get me out of jail, man? I'm stuck in jail. I'm like, well, what'd you do? And he told me something stupid, and he's arrested. And I'm like, okay, I'll come get you out. But I told him on the jail phone, I said, I'm not coming to get you right now. It's almost lunch. I'm going to go eat lunch first, and then I'm going to come get you. Well, I was rewarded for that lunch thing, because then he wants to come over to my house and stay for a while. And then he wants to eat all my food, wants to leave his trash all over my house, wants to leave his dirty clothes and crap everywhere. I'm like, dude, I just got you out of jail. At least you can come over here. At least you can pick up a weed eater. At least you can do something. But no, they keep pushing you and prodding you, and it's a little annoying. And then I think, can we say no from a place of kindness? To say no to somebody make us the rude person. Because like we had a guy that was coming out here a lot. He didn't have an AC, so we gave him an AC. Kevin back here did favors for him. And now the guy thinks we're horrible because we didn't give him enough work. Like, it's insane. Because we wanted to give him, he needed some money, so we said, yeah, he can do a couple of things. And then he was just crazy. So you got to learn how to say no. And just by saying no to somebody doesn't mean you're rude. Even though in their mind, like when my buddy was out here in my house and I told him, man, you got to go. You got to go. I love you, but you got to go. I don't think that makes us a bad person to say no. Like, I'm not going to allow my energy, my effort in building my life get trampled on by your negative force. Like, we do have to, hey, that's enough. I saw this picture and it reminded me of Ricky, because I know that when certain people take advantage of him and they've taken advantage of both of us. Me and Ricky are very close friends. And it's hard to emotionally navigate that, because as soon as somebody starts using you, the first thing is what, Ricky? Man, I just should have slapped him upside his head. I mean, that's exactly what a lot of guys say. Like, that dude needs to be bitch slapped. That's what happens. It's kind of a manly thing. I don't know, except for some of these soy boys now that are, young. They have a whole different mentality. I don't know what's wrong with them. But it's tough because you get fired up and then you got to deal with your own emotions. And the problem with that is that we're letting somebody else, some other being, take our good energy and start infiltrating it with their negativity. And how do we stop that? We just have to take a deep breath and go, I don't want to be around you. And one thing that works for me a lot is I've been doing this for a long time, and I don't know what kind of miracle this is, but when I pray to the infinite, man, it helps me all day long. I'll get irritated, and I'm like, oh, can you please not allow me to get irritated? I feel that bubbling up. I feel myself getting like, what'd you say? You looking at me? What's the problem here? Yeah, you want to go to the mats? It's a strange thing. And the second that we take pause and go, okay, I need to put myself in check and ask the infinite energies of the world, the cosmos, can you help me? Can you just help me? I don't want to feel this way. I don't want somebody else's energy to be disturbing to me. And it's crazy how it works. Because Ricky was talking to me about it. It's like, how do I solve this, people taking advantage? And I'm like, well, that's a really good question. I think we just need to pause for a few minutes and meditate and pray and ask for help. Like, hey, there's no reason why the inside of me should be allowing that other person to affect me. Because this is me. It's like a tug of war. It's like God playing, arm wrestling with the devil. It's weird because it seems like the more good that you do, the more good that starts surrounding you. But at the same time, there's a bunch of different temptations that start coming to you that kind of test you, like a lot. I would say like when somebody's really good, like somebody drinks too much, it's that temptation. Like I'm a really good person, but I keep getting this thing that wants to screw up my life. Like, oh man, I really love my wife, but I feel like I have, and I know somebody that this is a problem for, I have to go out and have extramarital affairs. I have to do it. And you're thinking, all right, so you're self-sabotaging. You're getting all these crazy temptations flowing towards you that have the potential to totally ruin your life when you're a good person. It's a strange dynamic that happens. It's like the evil forces of the world go, ha ha, that dude's trying to be good. We're going to come smack his butt down. And that is a real thing. But one way, Ricky, was that think about all the people that we've done good stuff for and they appreciate it. I started thinking about that when we were talking about the guy that was using both of us. I was like, man, we've really helped out a lot of people and throughout our life. And isn't that enough? Like there have been some people that have like been really thankful. Like, thanks. I enjoy our conversations. I enjoy being around you. I enjoy what you've done for me. And then their life, they end up going out and doing really nice things for other people. Like that, I think, is one of the tools we can use to just stop and go, hey, let's do that. Let's focus on the good instead of being irritated by the rude. Like just jump in and help people. Just do it because those ripples they go out. They even go out to unseen places. Like we'll never know. We'll never know what good came of us doing that good. Even the guy that we were irritated with, Ricky, want to bitch slap. Like he might turn out to be an okay guy. And those ripples may go out that we never even know of. Like we just don't know. But I love this. I found this yesterday. Grandma, it's not funny. Put that gun down. Fine. I won't keep asking for advances on my inheritance. Grandma can get pissed off too if you take her for granted. We, I think, can relate in some small way. Like we've taken our parents for granted. I've taken my parents for granted, and every time I think about it, it makes me ill. Like I just can't believe all the times that I took my mom for granted. My dad, not so much. And Pops, if you're watching, if I could take you for granted, being still a faulty human, I probably would. But my good grandparents, man, you push grandma up against the wall, better watch out what you're doing. But we can relate to that because if we know in our life we've taken somebody for granted, then they've taken us for granted, and we know that we're not that dissimilar in some slice of our character. Some little sliver of us is not dissimilar from that other person. So we should just let them go. Just go. And how do we do that? I mean, we know without being a condescending, I'm better than you mentality, but there's a big difference between that guy and that guy. He knows he's in a better place emotionally, physically, and you just know they're not in the same mental and spiritual place as you, so just leave them alone. They're just not. That doesn't mean you're better than them or anything else. Like, you're here emotionally. That doesn't mean because they're down there, but it does mean I don't need to help them right now because I've already tried and it didn't work. And it's our choice. Like, we have free will. We can help somebody or no. It's pretty simple. And a lot of people will keep getting trampled on because they just can't say no. They'll just keep on letting those people use them and abuse them because they can't say no. And that's pretty stupid. I mean, it's dumb. And we can forgive. I'm sure there are people in our lives, everybody that's sitting here and all y'all that are watching, there are people that have come into our life or in our families that have hurt us. We can forgive them and move on. We don't even have to ask, we don't even have to talk to them. I love you from afar. And I'm sure I got some family members that I love them, but I'm real glad they're not here. I like them being way over there, and I want to love them from here and send them good vibes, and if they ever turn into good people, then fine, I'd love to see them. It's a choice, and we have to love ourselves. It's kind of like that other podcast I did, I think it was last week. There is no love unless there's self-love. Now, you can't love anybody else unless you love yourself. So whenever we do give compassion and love and empathy to other people, then we should recognize that one in ourselves. We should say, man, that was really good. Like me and Dean talked yesterday, I think, or the day before, and we were having this conversation about, when we think of people that we should reach out to them, and Dean popped into my head and I had to reach out to him. I think when we do stuff that helps grow and nurture relationships, then when we're finished, like we separate or hang up the phone or whatever we're doing, then we go, hey man, I'm glad I did that. I should feel good on the inside. I should take a moment and go, yeah, that way it reinforces that behavior, so I'll do it again. I want to reach out to Dean again and Ricky Moore and Jackson and everybody that's here. I think it's important because we have to reinforce that good behavior. Otherwise, I may not think to call Dean again, but I already know that's not true because when I called him, we had a great conversation and I loved it. So it makes me want to do it more. Now, Ricky, we can't be doing that. You see that? We can't be doing that, Ricky, because that's what Ricky said. That was the first thing out of his mouth. I just wish I'd have bitch slapped him. But what does that do? What does it do if you physically bitch slap somebody? Nothing. It doesn't even matter if you can just walk all over them. There's no point in it. It doesn't make you feel any better. You don't feel like a bigger man because you just bitch slap somebody. You should feel like a little punk. It's kind of stupid. Okay, I'm a bigger person than that. It just doesn't make any sense. So we should spread compassion, love, and wisdom and have good conversations. The art of conversation in this country is dying in a big way. People sitting together and talking about their emotions and elevating themselves up it's pretty rare. It's rare with a father and a son. We got, I can count, 1, 2, 3, 5. There's probably 6 people out here right now that wish their fathers had talked to them about all the important things in life. And I'm no different. And I wish mine would have too. So what can we do? Can't we talk to each other and help each other? Can't we, me and Dean or Ricky or Noah, Kevin back there, when we have conversations, they become more meaningful because we're willing to be vulnerable, especially Ricky. I can't think of how many times me and Ricky have cried together and laughed together. And why is that able to happen? It is because I know I'm not going to judge him. I know he's not going to bitch slap me. Well, I hope he doesn't. And it allows a nurturing and a sharing and rippling out of great stuff. We got to hang out with people that help keep us elevated, help keep us on the right path. Hey man, you're being Ricky, you shouldn't bitch slap somebody, so let's come over here. And Ricky do the same thing for me. I can't tell you how many times Ricky has told me, hey man, you're rude today. You stressed out? What's happening with you? Why are you so short with me today? I'm like, thanks. I appreciate that because I know it's coming from a place of good intention. He's talking to me from a good place. He's not looking at me going, don't you ever look at me like that. I was like, hey, what's wrong with you? You all right? Yeah, slap me on the ass. Good game. Let's go. Cheer up, pal. We need that. And without that, it's easy to get in these cycles of people that, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. it's everywhere. So we have to pick our circles really, really carefully, really carefully. And I'm glad, Ricky, I'm thankful that you brought this topic up today, because I think it was so important for both of us, because without really considering all the good stuff, we can really let negativity affect us in ways that it shouldn't. Now, presentation, that was really the gist of it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go grab some food, and whoever wants to join us after we eat, I'm going to spend 25 minutes for the next 13 weeks in the theater watching Joe Dispenza. I don't know if y'all know who Joe Dispenza is or not. He is a renowned and acclaimed doctor that really shows us the science of how we think and how our minds can scientifically controls all the chemicals inside of our bodies, and how it is phenomenal. I've watched this probably 4 times, and I know I'm probably going to watch it another 4. So for 25 minutes after every service for the next 13 weeks, for those of you in the local area, if you want to come out, it's amazing, and I highly recommend it. It's not necessary for everybody that's here, but if whoever wants to stay, that's fantastic. So thank y'all for joining us. MysticsOfTexas.com. Go to MysticsOfTexas.com. We appreciate y'all, and thanks for helping this group grow, and thanks for making this channel just like start to take off. I appreciate it. See you next time.